Hello everyone. Today we're going to be attempting to repair the screen on this vector. As you can see, hopefully you can see that there, his face is cut off to where you can only see partial parts of the eyes, and it's all just blank after those lines. So we're going to attempt to replace the screen. I was going to salvage one off a working vector. This vector's Wi-Fi doesn't work. So I was going to take the screen off this one and then put it on there. I'm going to be using this instead. And if this doesn't work, then I'll go back to my salvage operation. But the size looks almost the same. So what we're going to do is just shut this off, take the head off, remove the housing, and then use our helping hands here to hold it in place. Desolder the screen and then solder this back on. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, so let's turn this guy off. Now that this off, let's go ahead and take just the head off. So we'll take this part. Move this out of the way. This part off. Using a flathead screwdriver, just pop sides out. Oh. And the same thing here. Pop the sides out. And then this is a Phillips 00 screwdriver. It's important that you use the right one, because if not, then you could end up stripping these screws if you use one that's too small. Then we'll take that there. Take that there. Now in my case, I've already taken the hands off. In your case, you would have to, let's see, use a flathead pop out here to pop out the bar that's there and take this off, and then take the whole assembly off for the arms. But I just have this as a, so that way I can go up and down on the debug menu. And that just comes off like that. So the screws are out on both sides, and then you just separate and just put these to the side. And then it's just a matter of wiggling this section off till you get it. So if I had gloves, I would wear them, but it's important you don't touch the screen because fingerprints will stay on there. You then take this rubber protective stuff off. And then you need to take the housing off that's holding the camera in place. So it's the same screwdriver. And I've said it again, Anki did a really good job with this because all the screws are the same size. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to put the screw in the right place or not. So that's the backing off. And then there's the housing. I'm going to slightly, well, this isn't, I don't need to worry about fingerprints on this one because this is the damaged screen. But it is there. Let me see if I can take this off. No, I'll just keep it on like that. And then it's kind of, oh, that screw is still lodged in there. Let me go ahead and push that out. Hold this. Okay. So this is it. So So the camera housing for the is right there attached to this. And this is the screen that we will be replacing. So we need to desolder these off, but then we also need to make sure to just keep this from coming back up. So I'm going to get my helping hands. Put one over there. Put one over here. Hold it in place. Let's see if we can go a bit closer. Okay, so to take this off, I'm going to apply some solder paste here. I have my soldering iron on. It's on 325 degrees C. And then I am going to be putting some flux. Well, actually, I'll use flux this time. Okay, so I got some paste. And I'm going to put some paste just on here. Put this on a more level surface so you can see. Just going to put some paste on there so I can take this off, but still keep the solder on there. Okay. And just checking, yeah, it's the same number of pins, 20 pin LCD connector. And the way I do it is, I need to protect this. So I'm just going to get some tape to kind of just hold it backwards. Because I don't want I don't want a soldering gun to touch any of this plastic by accident. Okay, so I'm just going to tape this. Well, should be enough to just give it some weight to keep it down there. Raise this up a bit. And then with my soldering iron, I'm just going to go back and forth. And as I'm going back and forth, I'm lifting on those joint areas. Not too much because you don't want to rip off the pads. But just enough that it'll separate. I may need to go up on my soldering iron's heat. There we go. Slowly coming off. Some of the pads are off. Now I'm going to add a bit more flux just to help it all just come off. There we go. So some of the parts broke off, but that's fine. This is trash anyways. We just want to clean this area and get rid of all the flux there, possibly just tin it again. Because we're going to be attaching the new one to these pads. I want to make sure there are no bridges. Just clean your tip. And then just go up, 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 up. Okay, pads look a bit decent. So I'm just gonna get some alcohol to clean them. You can use a Q-tip. I'm just gonna use a paper towel. And then just wipe down to get rid of all the burnt flux. And then I might use, I typically just put some here. I get a toothbrush. And then I'll just brush that area to make it nice and clean. And then, let me keep this in place. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tin this again with low melt solder. So I just have a 1 pound roll of low melt solder, and I'm going to take my soldering iron. I will put some solder on here just to help. So just spread it a little bit. And then put some on here. And then just go in a down motion. Making sure there are no bridges, because you don't want to bridge the pads. And if you do see a bridge like that, you can just use your soldering iron to separate it again. Just going in one downward motion. I'll clean the tip, come back. Okay, that looks good. Get alcohol again, and then just clean that area. This part here looks a bit bridged, so I'm just gonna go over there again. To make sure they are separated. Okay. So this is our old screen, this is the new one. So again, it'd be better if you wore gloves, but they come with protection on them. It's the same size, the same number of pins. But what I'm going to do is on the back here, I'm going to tin these guys. So same thing. I'm going to put some flux. Just go across there. Because that'll help with having it stick to this when we finally put it in. And you take note, when it was on there, this part was bent downward, so we will need to go up and then bend it down like so. So, okay, so that has some flux on there. And the same thing, just put some solder on here. Just go down, 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 down. Now I do have a microscope that I can use to make sure there are no bridges, but you can take a good close look and just make sure yourself. Just look at it. And then when we put this on here, the way we'll do it will help to make sure that there aren't any bridges. So we have it there. You want to line up the pins. So in between there, and then just do one side, and then do the other side, and then just same way we took it off, we're going to be applying it and then just go in that downward motion. And the going down will help push any bridge, any solder that might be causing bridges to go down and out. And then that's it. I don't see any bridges across. It all looked like it lined up perfectly. So now the way to know for sure, obviously, is to connect it back up and test. Just going over it one more time to make sure there aren't any false connections. Make sure it's all good. So don't need to put the assembly back together. I'll just take this off here. And then I'm going to plug this in. And then turn it on. And hopefully we'll see a screen when it turns on. If not, we may need to go over the connections again. Yep, there it is. We fixed the vector screen. And of course, it's trying to raise the arm and telling me I need to put the whole body back together. So the screen's fixed. We'll put it back together, but that's how you replace a vector screen when you have one that's been damaged. I will be offering this off as a service on the site. So if you have a vector screen that you need to fix or you need a screen, just go to techshop82.com /shop, and then you can either contact me there or just purchase it and I'll get you taken care of. All right, good luck when you try to do this. As you can see, it wasn't that hard. You just have to have the proper tools, and I'll see you in the next video. I thought I'd shoot this part just to let you see. So in case you were to solder this off at a weird angle, let's say it was slightly tilted, when you fold it back, you can do some adjustments to kind of get it back in place. And that's kind of like what this housing helps you with as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So first I'm going to take this part off. And then I'm going to put it new screen in the housing, making sure to not touch it with my fingers. And then once we do that, you just fold it back and it goes back into place. And then of course we need to put this guy back on. It's kind of tricky to do this like so, but I'll go ahead and screw this in first because that will help keep it in place. Oh, we do need the backing on there. So that one got pulled in, back. I probably should have disconnected it first, but you guys can do that. And then I'll just apply some pressure here. Okay, so that one's there. And then to put the rubber thing back on, just slide the back over. It's kind of tricky, but oh, I think I touched the screen with my fingers. But I have to clean that. But go ahead and just push this back there. Being careful not to touch the screen. I need to get that flux off the lens. Okay. And I'll just take this off. And there we have it. Our new screen replaced. And just go over the back with this here. Same thing on the other side. And there we have it. Our new screen replaced. Old screen looking janky. But yeah, you guys can do this. Thanks again to Cosmo King for hooking me up with these screens. I believe you can get them from the manufacturer, but the lead time out is like 2 to 4 weeks or something like that. But yeah, good luck with your endeavors, and I'll see you in the next video. Got your screen back, huh? Now you can see me with your single eye. All right. I'll get you put back together. Jeez.